Hello again and welcome back to the Tom Morgan Drum Studio, and now we're in the sequential approach to rudimental snare drum. And in our last rudimental video on the rudimental playlist, we did the flam accent and we did solo 5 in the book. And so today we're just going to do the next 2 supplemental solos that go with solo 5 to give you a little bit more material to use to work on playing the flam accent and all the other rudiments that we've learned up to this point. So the first one is called Karl's Krazy Kadence. And again, I named these, a lot of these solos after my students at the time when I was writing this. So that's where the names come from. It's very difficult to name this many solos. I was really running out of ideas after a while. But anyway, if you look at it, you can see that it's got flam accents. It starts with a roll going into a flam accent that we talked about in our last video. There's some alternating 5-stroke rolls. There's a first and second ending at the beginning and also at the end. It's called Karl's Krazy Kadence because if you look at the first ending, the beginning of the third line, there's some rests on the beginning of that measure. And that's the crazy part. When we get to that, you'll hear that's the part that's a little crazy. Not too crazy, but crazy enough that it warranted calling it Karl's Krazy Kadence. Okay, so here we go. We're in 6/8 again. 6 counts to a measure, and the 8th note gets 1 count. Okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, Karl's Krazy Kadence. 3 lines from the bottom, that 9-stroke roll is a little bit tricky. If you just think about it, if you take away the diddles and you just played it 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6. And then diddle the 16th notes. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6. It's pretty easy. It looks a little intimidating at first. All right, and then we jump over to page 28. And now we are going to use flam accents in 4/4 time, and they're going to be 16th notes. So with this solo, we have to kind of unlearn a habit that we've been working on. That same idea of after we play a roll, we lift the left hand. We've had to learn to delay that lift if it's rolling into a flam accent. But here we have to lift the right hand after the roll. Even though the roll ends with the right, we still lift the right because we're going to play a right-handed flam right after that, if you look at the sticking. So if we lift our left hand, we're in trouble there. So, but we have to do that flam with the right. And see, there are 2 flam accents right there, okay? And a 2, E, and a. So they're just the same as the flam accents we've played before, but it's just now in a 16th note configuration. So and a 1, and a 2, E, and a 3. okay? So don't let that throw you. It takes a little bit of time to get used to it, but you'll see flam accents played this way in 4/4 time or 2/4 time as 16th notes. And so you have to get used to doing that. So this is solo is kind of where that pops in. Okay? If you follow the sticking, everything works out really well. If you learn the first 2 measures, you've learned, 3/4 of the solo. There's a lot of repetition in this to make it easier. It's kind of a low information, high technique little solo. So here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so you can see that happens several times in the solo where you have to lift your right hand after the 5-stroke roll. There's also a couple of flam taps thrown in and a couple of measures there. So hopefully that is clear to you. Just follow the sticking very carefully and you'll be all right. All right, so those are the 2 supplemental solos that go with the flam accent and solo 5. And so now the next video that we do in the rudimental playlist will work on the flam paradiddle and the 7-stroke roll. So that's what's coming up next. So be sure you click like if you haven't, and also subscribe if you haven't, and hit that little bell there when you subscribe, and it'll indicate when another video comes out, and I'll keep you up to date. All right, so thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.